So welcome everyone to Unit Masters Cohort 8. We have the first speaker here today, and the first speaker is Dr. AnnetteDoms, and she's an art historian with an expertise in technology-based arts. She has her own consultancy and is partner and head of curation at Metadibs, which is a new NFT platform on Cardano. She's also a lecturer at university, and she's a writer. She gives keynotes, writes a lot about art collections, digital arts, and so on. She actually is here today to share with us the history or the evolution of the history of the internet, and then how can it actually apply to something very important to social life, which is arts, and what do NFTs do for that. I think it will be a very warm onboarding into the new economy. So welcome with us, Dr. AnnetteDoms. The stage is all yours.
Thank you, and thanks for this incredible invitation to start your program and the possibility to educate on this field. So especially it's for new technologies is very important. So education is the key, especially for Metaverse and NFT and Web3. And it's funny because you asked me about the history of Web3, so the latest generation of the internet that is just about to take off. But you're totally right. So this market is so dynamic and fast. And so the history of Web3 will come pretty soon, I'm sure. In order to better understand the vision of Web3, let us briefly outline the developments on the internet from Web 1 to Web 2 to Web 3. Therefore, I will share my screen now. So let's start with Web 1. So what you are looking at right now here is the first website ever made. So it was created in 1919 in CERN, Switzerland, the European Organization for Nuclear Research, that was made by British scientist Tim Berners-Lee, following a proposal for information management that he made already a year before. So Lee wanted a better way to share documents with other scientists around the world. So he coded an app using Object-C, which he developed on his next computer system and named it the World Wide Web. Here, it's always to see the inventors in person. This is Tim Berners-Lee. I love this incredible photo. How does it work? So the Web 1, in the early days of the internet, roughly between 1991 and 2004, was a very one-dimensional web. So content providers presented information on static websites. It allowed us to search for information and to read it. And so it was the read-only internet. E-commerce was possible through shopping cart applications, and there was a very little in the way of user interaction and content generation. And so it was mainly designed for the passive consumption of information. And because every information is coming either from military or science or the art background, I would love to use my background business as an art historian to show you one of the earliest networks from that time as well. To view it, you don't have to go to a museum. All you have to do is to switch on your computer and to type the following address into your browser. So it's still online. It's www.jodi.org. What do we see? So punctuation marks and numbers in bright green against the black background, the typical aesthetics from this time. And even after looking at it for a while, the website doesn't make sense at all, right? Do you agree? So what's the art behind? The solution is as simply as genius and lies in the source code. So if you open the source code, the numbers, dots, and slashes form the outline of a hydrogen bomb. So this page, it was created in 1993, we have to remember this, was made by artists Stuart John Hermsgate and Dirk Pasmans. And it shows very early on that the computer was not only a popular medium for communication and offered a new form of global communication, but also that the internet can be understood as an artistic tool. And in this case, with the message that there may be dangers behind the surface in that time. By the way, the source code for the WVV by Tim Berners-Lee was recently sold as an NFT animation visualization for nearly $5.5 USD at Sotheby's auction house. So this static behavior was broken by Web 2, which became established from 2004 onwards, and what we still live every day with our mobiles. The content here is more two-dimensional. It is presented dynamically. It's based on a server, and a pure reading on the internet became reading and writing. So content can be shared and commented on. That's the difference. If we look at the architecture, it's a little bit more complex. So we still have the web server, we have server contributors. The users are still there, but what can we do? So we have these RSS feeds giving up updates on news. We have microblogging with Twitter. We have social networks with Instagram and Facebook and so on. Media sharing with YouTube, TikTok, wikis with Wikipedia especially. We have blogs or blog pages, and we have web apps like collaborative online tools with Google and so on. So Web 2 is thus a centralized, complex social web, but only that is owned by large internet corporations and social network companies. The system is that we users, yes, we supply the content and companies are monetizing our data. So value is not really shared. So we are more the product of this whole system. And because coming back to the art, I would love to share another net art that exists in these early days. Also here you can find a very critical view by pioneer artists Eva and Franco Mattes. The work Life Sharing was a radical gesture of self-surveillance. It was like that the artists for 3 years made the contents of their home computer accessible to the public. So all of the content, including files and emails and bank statements and so on, were available in real time to be read, copied, and downloaded. So life sharing was really a prototypical meditation on living online. It was made long before social media widespread influence came out, and the work pointed towards the blurring of the public and private spheres and characterized of current moments. So it was a kind of performance, a provocation, of course, and a site of exchange. The project was based on the idea that file sharing is also life sharing, suggesting that life had become inextricably enmeshed in digital culture and the network. With Web 3.3, so we have a different situation. Web 3 is the vision of a serverless internet and decentralized, secure, and multi-dimensional internet, where users can really control their data, their identity, and also our destiny. So it's based on blockchain, it's AI driven, and it's the read, write, and own internet. That's the big difference. Also here, let's look on the architecture. So the Web 3 is built on decentralized protocols using blockchain technology, where users don't only help with content creation, but also with the governance on the internet itself. A web where users can exchange money and information through a peer-to-peer network without the need of an unnecessary middleman like a bank, notary, or in our case, in the art world, without a gallerist. So in addition, we are able to own a part of the network, and that's very interesting. So here we are users, we are owners, we are developers, and this is quite interesting. So what we have here is a semantic web. So imagine a kind of internet that not only accurately interprets what you type, but also understands everything you transmit, whether via text, voice, or media. So an internet where all the content you consume is better tailored to you than ever before through an intelligent AI that can decipher meaning and emotion by data analyzing. A web that provides users, so us, a much better connectivity. NFTs are a big part of this coming web, so it's not already there, but a little bit. And as you know, so NFTs really have triggered a global hype in 2021. In a nutshell, an NFT is a digital asset that grants unique ownership rights to digital, but also to physical items. That makes it really interesting. And so for me, NFTs represent a new system. It's a medium that has become software and thus enables many applications, from virtual worlds like Decentraland, Sandbox, or Cryptovoxels to blockchain games, club invitations, charity projects, and much more. So I will give you some examples later on. The tokens are cryptographically stored on a blockchain and kept in a wallet. I have chosen here the sign for the Ethereum blockchain, which is the biggest or most common blockchain for the NFT projects now. And I have chosen MetaMask here, the sign for a wallet or Coinbase. This is all you need to own, to mint, or to transfer NFTs. And with NFTs, there are also smart contracts, and these smart contracts are coupled with the blockchain, and smart contracts secure, for example, patents and or regulate licenses. So we have these copyright issues saved. NFTs are crypto collectibles, of course, and we may use it for especially in upcoming environments. So VR and the Metaverse will be used for more interaction. It will be more realistic and natural, as we actually know, through new 3D graphics. For example, Apple is bringing out a new AR glasses this year. It's very exciting, and I'm pretty much looking forward to it because the Metaverse is not a closed platform. It's rather the next stage of the internet and the sum of digital experiences and platforms that will be interconnected. And also this I will explain later a little bit more. Also part of the Web3 is a new company system, so the DAO. DAO stands for Decentralized Autonomous Organization and is for many people the future of organization for work and communities. So it will be an internet-based company that is managed collectively. The collective gets tokens, the collective can participate in the success of a company, they can vote, they have rights to a voice, and there is no hierarchy. So this means that in the future, companies, startups, and or NGOs will no longer be founded as a classical company, but as a DAO. So Web3 will fundamentally expand the scale and scope of both human and machine interactions far beyond that we can imagine today. And Web3 will cryptocally content data from individuals, corporations, and machines with efficient machine learning algorithms, leading to the rise of fundamental new markets and associated business models. Pretty exciting. So maybe let's talk about NFT applications a little bit more. The idea of bringing digital artworks to market, putting a price on them, and preserving their uniqueness and authorship also comes from the creators sector. For example, here what you can see is the first verifiable NFT artwork, which is an animation, The Quantum, by Kevin Coy, a New York-based artist. And that was recently sold also at the auction house Sotheby's for 1.5 USD. But the market experienced its real breakthrough, I would say, in February last year, with the famous internet GIF Nyan cat. You remember that was available online long time before it was uploaded to YouTube, as early as 2011. And finally was sold last year as an NFT variation on the platform Foundation for 300 ETH. That was pretty much at that time, it was around 483,000 euros. And what you see is a pink cat flying through space, making strange noises and leaving a rainbow trail behind. Why do I show this for you? It is because at the end of 2021, this work will be at the top of the worldwide art ranking Power 100. This ranking is published annually by the British magazine Art Review, and this list includes what an anonymous jury considers to be the 100 most influential personalities and movements in contemporary art. And so in 2021, it was an NFT. Another application is the PFP, so the profile picture. So avatars projects like CryptoPunks, I'm pretty sure you know, or the Bored Apes, or Clone X have proven to be very successful. So why? If you think about a Rolex, yeah, so a Rolex can be a fake, right? So an NFT instead is stored on a decentralized public database, and it's absolutely forgery proof. So they are used as PFP on social media. What I also discovered in the last weeks is that you can use these avatars for everything. So here's an example for the ping pong paddle, where it was printed on, or here as a necklace. This is a pretty expensive necklace meanwhile, because what you can see there is a pink, very rare Bored Ape. And what I have seen last week during an opening exhibition of the show Metadata by Kenny Schachter in Berlin. So there was one person who was putting in his Apple Watch. So there are really different kind of things you can use NFTs. So they are not only digital status symbols, but the first step towards a digital identity also in the metaverse. Here again, so the metaverse is the future space for communication and consumption, a virtual world shaped by virtual reality and augmented reality that exists independently in any single user. So the metaverse is a place that goes beyond traditional notions in space. It can be entered and excited permanently without the time limit. It's scaled in infinitive. So are all the possibilities we have with the metaverse. So the metaverse is the new social place, and it's also a future environment of digital economy, where land, houses, cars, watches, shoes, and even art become the property of users. This is an example. It's I'm not sure if it's really the metaverse, but it's an VR installation that was shown at Art Basel Miami last year, installation of the show NFTism Metaverse by Kenny Schachter. And here you can feel like it could look when we have all these artworks or a collection of art in a physical space or a digital space, moreover. So this is where digital fashion and NFT plays a supporting role. So you can imagine the more time people spend in the virtual world, the more they will spend on their avatar clothes, houses, and accessories. So several brands like Adidas, Nike, or Gucci actually are moving their brands with NFT concepts into the metaverse. Adidas, for example, has chosen to collaborate with NFT hugely successful Bored Ape Yacht Club collection. And Adidas buys also virtual land in Sandbox and explosively growing metaverse, where the most innovation innovative brands are currently building their presence. Then we have Nike. So Nike recently announced the acquisition of RTFKT, which is a leading brand that leverages cutting-edge innovation to deliver next-generation collectibles that merge culture and gaming. And the RTFKT recently also launched the very famous Clone X project. So the whole community was waiting for this project the whole last year. And this is also an avatar project, which has 3D animation, face tracking. And in addition, you also have marketing rights in these avatars. So you can really do a lot of things with it. Then maybe you have read it in press last year. There was Dolce & Gabbana getting into this space. So they had an Genesis NFT collection last year, so a fashion week online. And what they did there was, so they sold a digital glass NFT or digital suit, what you can see here. And it was pretty much expensive. So it was more than $1 million. But in addition, you also got a physical suite, and you got the entry for different, or I guess it was 4 haute couture events. So this makes pretty clear that NFTs, or the use of NFTs, can be a really very cool marketing tool, and you can use it for building a community around. But what you can also do with NFTs is, for example, expressing moments. So Jack Dorsey, for example, sold his first Twitter feed last year for $2.9 million. Also, in kind of, if you think about moments, there's the possibility to buy the best moments of baseball at NBA Top Shop, for example. And this means that NFTs are much more than crypto collectibles. So NFTs also have, for example, great potential in logistics, as this can achieve much more precise control on traceability. We have these customer loyalty programs. You can use it for ticket sales or special editions and so on, many things. And to come back to art, there's also an example for an artistic DAO project that is already online and really working. This is Botto. So Botto is a decentralized image machine with which the Munich artist Mario Klingemann wants to create a universal crypto income for a large community of art lovers. So what's behind? An artificial intelligence creates 350 digital artworks per week. The community regularly votes on which is the best. And if you want to vote, you have to buy a limited crypto token and invest it. So at the end of the week, the most voted artwork is publicly auctioned off, and the proceeds are used to buy further stocks of the token on the open market and then destroyed. So thus, at least in theory, the increasingly scarce coin rises in price. Yeah, and meanwhile, the AI learns from the votes, which images the community likes, and produces more and more of them. So this is really working. So you can try, and it's pretty fun. What we also had is, what everybody can realize are these really philanthropic projects or charity projects. For example, also here a collective, artist collective, PENG, it's an art and action collective that used NFT sales to provide Afghan families with a golden visa. So this is also a very cool project. And what we also had last year during the pandemic, this was a possibility to get money or to earn money from museums during the time when all museums were closed. So this is an example what the Uffizian in Florence did. So they created a digital twin of a Michelangelo Tondi and sold it in public to a Rome collector who is now very proud owner of this digital or digital twin of the original artwork. Yeah, of course. So many things are still in their infancy, and of course we have to look carefully on all of it and the whole development. And of course, there may be disadvantages as well in the whole system. For example, one problem is that many of the companies in this cryptocurrency issues are controlled by venture capitalists and Silicon Valley insiders. Of course, we have in long-term thinking the loss of state control because of a decentralized system. We have this, and maybe you agree if you are in this crypto space, so you can really get addicted from NFTs, and much is popped up by FOMO, and so the fear of missing out. And there's a lot of scams and bad things to watch out there as well. And then what I daily realize is there is still a big lack of user experience. So if you need to have the knowledge of how to set up a wallet, for example, how to interact with Web3, approve transactions, you have to store passwords and private keys, and so this has to be educated. There are open up risks. So the open source nature of Web3 is great for transparency, of course, but also for hackers that are studying the open codes. So be cautious. And then we have also a disadvantage, very high gas fees that user will incur. That means so that for every transaction, either it is minting or buying or transacting an NFT costs gas fees, and these could be very high at the moment. So we also have a sharp increase in energy demand due to the use of computationally intense blockchain technology. And there are a lot of legal questions are still largely unanswered. But all in all, I would say, and I'm totally convinced in it, that with NFTs, Web3, and the Metaverse, we are witnessing one of the most significant contemporary innovations, not only in technology and finance. NFTs, for me, are also a cultural phenomenon, and Web3 will definitely change all areas of life. So thanks for listening to that. And so I give the word back to Yip.
Yeah, thank you so much, Annette, for
Yeah.
onboarding our community to Web3 today. My first question to you is, what are, what maybe you can share one of your favorite moments along your own crypto journey if you look back. What brought you like a lot of joy?
It was in March. So we were discussing about NFT at the beginning of last year, and I remember then when there was this Beeple sale. So we remember it was a collage of 5,000 single pictures that the artist Beeple made within a couple of years and sold as an NFT. And the moment was when it was an auction, and we remember, so Clubhouse was that tool in this time, and Christy had this auction party, so it was during the auction sale. And then there was the moment when the hammer was falling for $69 million. And then there was this moment of silence. So 1 minute, nobody talked about anything. And I will never remember this, and we could not imagine how this could work. It was pretty expensive, but many other moments followed, of course, after that.
Wonderful. We've had some questions more on how does actually one look at how to pick the right blockchain or the right metaverse for example, for an arts project that one wants to do. You are, for example, in Cardano, but then there's Ethereum, Solana, and so on and so forth. In which way do they differ from each other?
Yeah, so this is a big question. So what blockchain do you use? The most art projects are now lying in hands of Ethereum. So Foundation is working with Ethereum, then Super Rare and Nifty Gateway. Ethereum is a blockchain that is still working, that came out in 2017 and that edited, and this was different from Bitcoin, a smart contract. So a smart contract can be used to really solve copyright issues, and it's always combined with the NFT and the blockchain. And the problem with Ethereum right now still is the proof of work system behind, which means that everybody, so to validate an NFT, you need miners, and everybody can mine on to make the validation for an NFT. So this you can imagine really costs a lot of energy, and this is why we have to pay so many gas fees and other systems, and Ethereum is also already working on it, is sorry, the proof of stake system. So this is also a validation system, but there are some people that have been chosen to validate. That means that they are also stakeholders for the validation. So there is less people to validate the NFT projects, and this is the new thing. And there are blockchains like Cardano that are already working with this, and that could be much more attractive for a special community that is looking also for eco-friendly systems.
And in the NFT world, yeah, how do we verify, it's a question from Varun from the audience, how do we verify that the person who is selling the NFT is actually the owner and has the right to sell it in a world where everyone can actually just go in and mint anything that they like to mint?
The good thing is that it's all transparent, so on a blockchain. So at the end, you could verify this person. I know so many transactions are made anonymous. It's when you look on a blockchain transaction, you see only an anonymous public key that is function as like a bank account. And so normally you can verify a project, and this is also my advice. So if you buy something on, for example, OpenSea, the biggest NFT market platform in this field, you should look at this blue circle behind a project, which means that this project or the makers are verified. You have to look on the history, on people who make this project. You can also verify it on a Discord channel. So the Discord is very important in this field. Also Twitter, to verify a community and to see how serious a project is. And but of course, in terms of if you own or if you have minted an NFT and then transferring an NFT, there could be some legal issues. So if something is wrong with it, sometimes, so wallets, for example, can be hacked. So my first wallet was hacked as well. I don't know why. I really don't know why. But so everything was lost. NFTs were lost, and Ether was lost. This is not very cool. But if you follow the rules in this NFT space, so you may be safe.
We had a question from John Alexander who asked us, so it seems that this Web3 is about the web where we can own our own data. But what if like companies such as Metaverse, Facebook are owning all of this? Is it then truly us owning it?
Yeah, so this is already a big discussion, so that we will have this transfer from the big companies to the metaverse. So we have to choose how it will work. So we have to choose the platform, and at the end, so they cannot do anything like this what we had in the last years. So we are the creators there, and what I can realize that a lot of things are coming back to the community. So we support, or we bring the value into the internet, and the value is coming back. That's really different.
Okay. Well, thank you a lot for sharing about the history of Web3 with us. And one of the big use cases, NFTs, it's quite interesting to see all the movement that has happened over the past years. For today's session, we are coming to an end, and we still have 5 weeks to look forward. And you may have heard a lot of new terminology to all of you, like a wallet, and then different blockchains with different names, and so on. And no worries about that. Over the course of the next weeks, we will look deeper into different ecosystems. Each ecosystem has their own different marketplaces where you can um, mint, sell, buy your different NFTs, for example. And we look also beyond use cases of NFTs in fashion and arts. There some people asked about real estate and NFTs. I think I read something about DeFi and NFTs and so on. And we will take it slow. So we go back to these detailed questions once we all have reached also a more deep understanding of the different concepts in this ecosystem. So thank you very much, Annette, for joining us. You can find her contact details on the website that she has shared earlier before, and we will post this video in our online platform for you and your friends to rewatch if you want to catch up on some of the details that might have been a bit overwhelming in the beginning because you're hearing them for the first time. And you can always revisit. By the end of the 6 weeks journey, we actually will ask you to write your key learnings from each speaker session and learning from each week. And here's the form for you to do that. So you don't have to go like, by the end of 6 weeks and get a bit stressed because you don't remember anything and will have to rewatch all the videos. So please do that and see you again on Wednesday, tomorrow, for the first crypto coaching session, or on Thursday for the second speaker session, who will also share their perspective on decentralization, the internet of value, and what this future brings for us. So thanks everyone for being here. And the last word goes to our wonderful speaker. And that's it. What do you want us to take away?
Oh, yeah, so just try it. That's my advice. So there's the big discussion still if it's only a hype or revolution. I would recommend to just try it, experience it, and you will love it, I guess. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful Tuesday. Welcome to Unit Masters 8.